Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's not the Miles Graham, but it's Dave Meltzer here live. Andrew, Jake, welcome. Let's get some questions going. Got some special guests today. Samir, happy birthday, you amazing man. We will pin this right here. If you haven't joined my text community, go ahead and do that. It's 949-298-2905. If you haven't got my exercises guides, joined our free trainings, pitch competitions, anything that you need, including my book for free, then just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Let's grab a couple questions as we're running into this. How important is financial literacy? Well, I think financial awareness is financial literacy, and it's extremely important if you want to have financial success. Best way to have financial literacy is to find the people that sit in the situation that you want to be in and have them teach the language systems and processes in order to be successful. That is the best way. It's very, very important if you want to have financial success to be financially aware and financially literate. All right. What is your advice for those who believe their vote doesn't count? Funny you should ask. I am doing a Get Out and Vote campaign with my dear friend Dave McCourt, and we're going to do a 3:00 show every Tuesday until the elections to encourage people to unite with whatever they believe in. We have all fought too hard to be able to voice our opinions and create a collective consciousness and support one another in that consciousness. Everyone has a right to vote, and their vote counts. So no matter what your opinion is, speak out, utilize what we fought so hard for, and vote for what you want in your life personally, and vote for what you want collectively. Vote, 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 vote. I don't care what your politics, religion, size, shape, or breed is. You got to vote. What's your favorite board game? Wow. I like old rotisserie baseball, but beyond that, I got to go with my boy, Rob Angel and Pictionary. Definitely great games. Sorry's great. Life is great. But those are my faves. Great question. I love those type of questions. What books do you recommend for financial literacy for beginners? What books? I think Think and Grow Rich is a great book for financial literacy. Just the philosophy and the emotional intelligence behind financial awareness. But not necessarily do I believe in books for beginners. I believe in mentorship and experience for beginners. Best way to get that. Does a pitch have to be 2 minutes? No. Who told you that? On my show, 2-minute drill, it has to be 2 minutes. But a pitch normally is given some sort of context of time to keep it to, whether it's, 1 minute in an elevator, like elevator pitch, 2 minutes, like 2-minute drill, or 5 minutes like we use on the hub pitch competition, but it varies. But the key is that you need to practice and be smooth and well rehearsed and confident in what you do. So please utilize your time practicing to get credibility, emotional attachment, reasons, impacts, and capabilities, and the quantification thereof. What do you think of me? I love you, man. That's what I think. We're all connected. One tree does not have any branches. Where did you learn about the law of attraction? From Dr. Wayne Dyer in the movie The Secret is my initial lessons that I've learned, adding in John Assaraf's law of Goya and the complementary nature of putting things into action to attract what we want. Looking good there. And those are all great things to learn. Let's see here. Going live, Jake. What am I looking for? All right, we'll get another question going. What does accountability mean to you? Accountability means control. Asking yourself 2 questions. What did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? What did I do to attract this to myself? And what am I supposed to learn from it? That gives me control of my life. No matter how much uncertainty I perceive or believe exists, no matter how much change and acceleration of change according to the context of my independent and dependent variables in my life, it doesn't matter because I have complete control. I have complete control of my mindset, my heart set, what I think, say, do, and believe all at once. I have control through accountability, knowing that I attract everything into my own life, and my job is to learn from it. We have great Nick Walenda from the Walenda family. Everybody knows the Walendas, and what a great story. He launched his book last week and he's back. All right. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. How'd the book launch go?
Good, man. It was busy. It was busy for sure. A lot of media, a lot of interviews, but exciting and excited by the feedback that we've gotten from so many people that have read the book already and ordered it on Amazon or wherever else they ordered it from.
My favorite part of launching a book is not only the good feedback, but I really enjoy learning how everyone has their own perception. And one of the things, that I never thought would happen in my book, and I'm going to ask you about yours. So I'll tell you my story real briefly. So I launch a book, and the negative reviews I love to read because I want to improve and see where it's not what I said, it's
Sure.
what they hear. The number one thing that people didn't like about my book is I referred to a story in the movie Blink, which I think you'll probably agree with me, but I believe that you can talk to water and turn it brown. And I saw it in a movie, and I
Sure.
read it in a book. Like, I believe that if you tell water you're ugly, you're bad, whatever, it will turn ugly and bad. And you
Yep.
can clean water too with your vibration of your voice, like a higher frequency. Well, on one of the reads, right, this, great editor, whatever they call them, review person, her genius is like, this is the most worthless book because I said that. Now, the fact that you would evaluate a book on one
Yeah.
thing that I didn't even come up with, I disagreed with, tells
Sure.
me what kind of editor or review person you are. But
Yeah.
moreover, what was like your number one like shocking thing that when you got your reviews back, was there something that you were like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, nothing major to be honest with you yet.
Good.
Now, mind you, it's only been, a week, so it hasn't been long, but I'm sure those are coming. Just like every special that I do, the comments just roll in of negativity. There's, and you take the good and the bad, and again, I read quite a few of them, but to be honest, I've tried to stop reading all of them because it can become almost draining as well.
Yeah.
And then you try to explain yourself. Like the biggest comment after a TV special that I do on ABC is that network makes me wear a tether. When I walked over the Grand Canyon in Chicago and broke those world records, I was untethered. That was on the Discovery Channel. However, my last couple specials were on ABC, and because of it's on ABC, they make me wear a tether. So many negative comments of, "Oh, you're wearing a tether. I would do that," et cetera, et cetera. And
I would do that.
look, yeah, I get that a lot, and I'm like, man, I don't know that you would. It's not quite as easy as you think. It's not as though those tethers hold me on the wire. They hold me from falling to the ground, possibly, but they don't hold me on the wire.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, if you were going to write your own personal review of the strength of what you wrote and the importance of a takeaway, what would that takeaway be? If you were, Nick writing the review saying, hey, obviously you would say great book, but here's what I got from it. What would be that part of your review that said, here's what I took away from my book?
I think it's pretty simple. I think it's that we can control our thoughts. We can control where we allow our mind to go or not. It's easier than we think. We just have to practice it. It's just like anything. You get on a bike the first time you fall off, but you ride on it enough, now it becomes second nature. Well, that's the same with controlling our thoughts. And we can control whether we allow our mind. They're going to always want to go to negative places. You get mad, you get stuck in traffic, you get an argument, whatever. They're going to want to go there. But we have the power to stop that and go, nope, I'm not going to go to that spot. Why would I get mad at the guy in front of me? He's got a guy in front of him that stopped. He can't control that. So I think that's the biggest snippet is we can control our thoughts, learn, practice, train hard like I do before my specials, but we can control where we allow our mind to go. And there's a lot of power in that.
And I think what I've learned from you and the book myself is the incremental learning of the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind for perspective, for mindset. That the way you build the pyramids is you start with, one person getting balanced and practicing one person, and then two, and then three, and you build up to the world records that you're able to create. And the only thing I could analogously use it to athletically for me was pole vaulting, because it was like 52 things that you have to do, and it's very incremental. You start at like
That's right.
7 feet, and that seems like it's 20 feet, and then you move up to 10 and 15, and everyone's like, how do you do that? But meanwhile, it's a block, step by step
Yeah.
incremental growth and learning curve that you illustrate very well in your book. That's more than just conscious.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, that has been my life. In fact, is starting out low and working your way up, and that really applies to everybody in every aspect of life. I know when I started public speaking, it was nowhere near the message that I can deliver now, because again, you start in baby steps, and I started doing it to local groups for free, because I just wanted to get that practice and get that trial in, and the more that I did it, the better I got. But again, I think that really applies to anyone in any aspect of life. Start out small and check. I make a checklist every year of goals that I have for myself. And I start off with the easier ones, and then they get harder and harder and harder. And I try to set goals that are nearly unachievable, things that are going to make me really stretch and really step out of my comfort zone. And I strive for them. And if I don't finish them in that year, guess what? They go on next year's list, but they're higher up on the list. And now I'm focusing more on them. And again, little by little, though, I start checking things off, and there's a sense of accomplishment, and it also builds your character. And again, that I believe is a highly attributed to my success, and where I've gotten in life is because I have written things down and really worked hard to achieve those goals.
And it's interesting as well. I haven't seen a book that portrays the ancestral downloads that we get. We talk about, it's very common in a recovery book for people to talk about, inheriting alcoholism or abuse and how you are going to be the one to break the chain. But the nuance of high wire circus acts isn't typical ancestral generational inheritance of energy and beliefs that you actually inherited. And
Yeah.
you are able and capable to break the chain and to be yourself, and which led you full circle into actually fulfilling the destiny of the ancestral genes that you have, what I call a quantum memory for whatever reason, which brought up to me that, God, Nick is so cool, because not only did he address the chain, but he realized that everything pushes him to something better. And he was so confident in it that it actually pushed him back to where he began, but in a better situation. He actually used it to make his situation better. So beyond the mindset of just you can do anything, there's also this mindset that I'm being pushed into a better place, that this is for my best expansion and acceleration and growth and learning.
Yeah, and I think that's even in the bad times. I think you're probably referring to the fact that I love the circus, grew up under the big top, and that industry was dying. So I knew I had to step out of it, still walk the wire, but work my way back to the big top, because my passion is to reignite and reinvigorate what the circus is, which is a challenge. And it's a scary task. And there's fear in me just facing that, just dealing with that. But it's something I have to do. But I also think that even in those negative times, even when we're going through a difficult time, every difficult time I've gone through in life have led to better things. And I've grown so much. That's when I grow, is when I'm down in the valley. I don't grow when I'm on the mountaintop. So therefore, now when I'm in the valley, I can go, you know what? I'm growing right now. This is actually not so bad. So even in the bad times now, in my mind, I go, this isn't bad, because this is grinding, man. This is making me a better person, and great things are going to come of this. And the book is the perfect example of that. The book came from a horrible situation that should have taken my life, my sister's life, other family members, but it didn't. And through that, I knew, and even my family really has lived this way, but that good things will come from that, and we'll be able to help other people. And that's why I wrote this book, because I wanted other people to not have to go through the experiences, or maybe not quite down as far into that valley as I had to go.
Yeah, it's so interesting, because I would rename the book too, pain is a turn signal, meaning pain is an indicator to the Wenda family that you have a different direction to go, a better direction. And we learn from those. And, your story about, being back on the wire and asking, I believe it was your wife, hey, who's shaking?
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
like, you are, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. It got to a point where I was physically trembling, because that fear had just taken over my mind. And really, that was a big part of my recovery, was stepping out and realizing I forgot who I was. I forgot how I was supposed to think. But I was shaking so bad. And because it was so unique to me, I don't shake on the wire. I'm fearless. What are you talking about? So getting on the wire, I'm shaking. And I literally went to my wife. There's somebody in this pyramid shaking. Normally I can call it out. That's my job as the leader of the troop. Figure it out, pull him to the side, and respectfully say, hey, what's going on? Are you dealing with something? How can we help you be more confident on the wire? Do we need to train more? What needs to happen? But the reality was I couldn't find out who it was. And it was so confusing to me, because it just wasn't me. It wasn't who I am. And I literally went to her and said, hey, watch this pyramid and tell me if you see anybody shaking. She said, buddy, it's you. You're the one shaking.
Yeah, I saw that you were on, I think, Joe Osteen on his podcast.
Yes, yeah, and I,
He's
I
a,
actually spoke at his church this Sunday, which was amazing.
that is, I've been myself and a friend of mine. I always say I'm a Jew for Joel. I can't help myself.
There you go.
But I always love takeaways from Joel. What was the message of your speech at church on Sunday?
It was really that story of how what I went through and how I went through this valley, and I'm very much a man of faith, and the Bible talks about how God will give us beauty for ashes, and really it was based on that, on the fact that even though we are surrounded by ashes, even though I'm in that volcano surrounded by ashes, there's beauty on the other side, and if we can focus on that beauty and not on the ashes around us, we're going to make it through a better person.
I think there's no more timely message than that message, as well as no more timely book than your book. Where can people best find the book?
They can find it at Amazon, any online retailer, any local bookstore can, of course, order it if they don't have it in stock, or they can go to nickwalenda.com and I'll send them an autograph copy.
You heard it here. Go to nickwalenda.com, get an autograph copy. I want one for sure. And although I've already read it, what a great book. I just have to tell you, it resonates and aligns with so much that has helped me with my fear in my life and the acceleration and growth and fulfillment that I want. And also, identifying and being aware of the chain of the ancestral inheritances that I've gotten, not just from my family, but
Sure.
obviously from, like you said, faith itself. And I love how you combine the pragmatic world with the faithful world, as I do. So, huge fan of yours, of your book. Thank you so much for joining me and teaching such great lessons that could help so many people, especially in these compressed times of uncertainty, Nick.
Thank you, David. It's such an honor. It's always just a great time spending time with you. Thanks.
You're amazing, man. Stay tight on high on that wire, buddy. Stay
All right,
good.
will do.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Say
buddy.
hi to
Bye.
Joel. Take
I
care.
will.
Bye bye. The great Nick Walenda. Check out his book, nickwalenda.com. He'll even sign it for you. You heard it here. So what a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor to have him. Go ahead, historically, if you haven't looked up what the Walendas were able to do, not only for our country, but also the world and for the circus, which is one of the biggest and best forms of stage performances that built all types of different genres of performance itself. Let's get back to answering questions. Thank you again, Nick, and thank you, Joel Osteen. Incredible. If you want the exercises guides, if you want to get to Nick, join my community, 949-298-2905. We're going to do a pitch competition, talk about the perfect pitch, give the perfect pitch exercises, guides this week, and my book for free. Go ahead, david@dmeltzer.com to join, or text 949-298-2905. Let's answer some questions. This is my favorite time of day. I get to learn by answering questions. Does the law of attraction work? Absolutely. You got to know what you want, though. You got to be very clear, balanced, and focused. One time, I was asking for a bunch of dough, and my Aunt Susie brought me cookies. Got to be very specific. The universe is exact, so let's be exact in what we want, utilizing the laws of attraction in this most powerful method. Is it worthy to study at a business school? If that's what you want, of course it's worthy. It's not worthy. Depends, if someone's going to give me a full scholarship to Harvard Business School right now, I'd probably go, right? So economically, it makes sense. There comes a time, resource, and money, time and risk tolerance that's involved. But anytime you can improve yourself, make an investment in yourself, expand that great muscle called your mind, it is a benefit, whether it's business school, medical school, law school, I don't care, any type of format, wherever you go. But make sure that you're fiscally responsible, which was the first question. Fiscally responsible in educating yourself, finding the best benefit for the lowest price, just like anything else. Love the four agreements, Seth. Thank you for asking. One of my faves as well. Check it out, the four agreements as well. When and how did you make your first million? From sales, selling legal research online for a company called West Publishing. 9 months out of law school, I did it by being productive, efficient, effective, and statistically successful. I always called it the power of 64, which I have a document on, which I'm happy to give you for free. I have it in my book, Connected to Goodness, which I'm happy to give you for free. All you got to do is join my text community, 949-298-2905, or email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Who was your mentor for the law of attraction? Wayne Dyer, Lee Brower, Jack Canfield, TLC, the Transformational Leadership Council, the movie The Secret, John Asseroff, the list goes on and on and on. Bob Proctor, especially. Shout out to my mentor still today, the unbelievable genius, the expression of God, Bob Proctor, the anointed mentor of mine. Thank you. Is it worth to take a marketing degree? Once again, invest in yourself. Absolutely. Check out your time and risk tolerance. Who are you going to be voting for? I will decide on voting day. I also think your voting is a private matter. So please vote, 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 vote for what you want and let the collective come out. That'll be fine. As a marketing graduate, where should I start when it comes to a job? Start by identifying your skills, your knowledge, what and who, and your desire of what you want to do. And align it with what's doing well, career industry, job wise, what's stable, career industry or job wise, or what you feel is going to be doing well in the future. And that's where I would start with your degree. Very good. How do you better? How do you become a better communicator? Practice communicate two ways. One, first, practice communicating to what inspires you, to the greatest source of light, love, and lessons. Be more interested than interesting. Practice clearing and using your will to clear the interference and corrosion of that which you're connected to, and then practice clearing the interference or corrosion to everything else you're connected to. A tree has no branches. We're all connected. In order to be an effective communicator, you have to take the abundance, the infinity, the limitlessness, allow it to come through you with appreciation, gratitude in your values, and give it away untethered by any interference or corrosion of ego, the best that you can. And the better that you can create that flow, the better that you can allow things to come through you for others, the more effective of a communicator you'll be, the more you can connect with people and inspire them with credibility, emotional attachment, and be able to articulate the quantification, the quantified value of reasons, impacts, and capability. Thank you so much, Mike. Great listening to the playbook with Nick Wallenda. Go ahead, listen to our interviews. They're awesome. You can get all featured on Spotify. All my previous trainings are on Spotify and Entrepreneur. Go ahead, check it out. Go to Spotify. They're featured there, or Entrepreneur. Catch all of the episodes. If you missed any of the exercise guides or books, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Posted right below me there. Grab it. All right. You have an incredible team. Kudos, sir. Great reflection. In order to have a great team, I need to be an intelligent follower and provide the values to empower that team. And I am forever grateful for my team, especially the ones that are on here right now. Andrew, Samir, Jake, Blaine, Gemma, you're on my team. You're gonna give me a call. Awesome. Thank you so, so much. Let's keep it going. There's more questions. Keep them coming. What's the most memorable pitch you've ever heard? I still like the guy with the fingerless gloves. It's the commercial for Elevator Pitch, the TV show which I produced with Entrepreneur, which I was a judge in. The guy comes out of the thing just so fired up, so passionate, and he's like, boom, mother effer. It's awesome. It was such a great pitch because it was credible. It was emotionally one of the most attaching, Jesus, appreciate you as well, attaching pitches I heard. And he actually quantified the value of these gloves that you take off the fingers so you have the agility without getting your hands cold. And then there's been many companies like it since then as well. I was just in another pitch competition at the high-end Himalaya version of that as well. Perfect. And let's take one more question here. Maybe go live with somebody after that. How do you get clarity on what you want in life? You need to take inventory of your values every day and not be afraid of being a hypocrite. You need to take inventory of what your non-negotiables are, your personal values. You need to take inventory of your experiential values, what you want to experience for that day and for maybe the week, month, or year, or even lifetime. You want to go ahead and combine a review of the inventory of your giving and receiving values, knowing that I receive so I can give. I don't give so I can receive. It's not a trade and negotiation. There's no shortages, voids, and obstacles created. It's just unconditional that I'm worthy of everything I receive and allow it to come through me for others. That's my objective. So looking here to see if Jennifer's here. We have time for one more. What is percentage is law of Goya versus law of attraction? They work simultaneously. So it's 100%. You can't attract something without putting something out there. And so the law of Goya states, get off your ass and you're able to effectuate that. So I think 100% of the time you're utilizing the flow of attraction and Goya together, just like giving and receiving are one, the law of Goya and the law of attraction are one. So hopefully you can understand that as well. Jennifer, let me know if you're here. I'd love to talk to you with our ATN Empire, the great representation for a great purpose and cause. Tarek, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, let's take another question. We're moving and grooving. Can you notice? Join me Friday, 949-298-2905 to join, or email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Yes, it is Samir's birthday. He is 24 years old today. Let's everybody sing happy birthday from your desk to Samir. Happy birthday to you. All right, that's enough of Dave Meltzer singing. For sure. There she is. Hello, Jennifer. Let's point it in here. There we go. Thank you for coming. Well, of course, I'm not moving there. Let's get this going. For some reason, it's not letting me join. There, it's moving now, so now it will. Didn't want to pin that, but that was good. Let me figure this out. Give me 2 seconds. Welcome. It's my first live, and I just pinned this here, unpinned comment, and let me join comment. She's here, Jennifer. Thank you for your patience. I will learn how to do this. Oh, I know it won't. For some reason, it won't allow me. Let me see where she's at here. Go ahead if you can request, Jennifer. It's not allowing me to let you join. If you can request joining, that'd be great. Jakey, can you help her? Let me answer one question while we get a request from Jennifer to join us. I really want to talk about this unbelievable person. What's been your greatest fear? I think my greatest fear is not being worthy of those closest to me. And so I want to live up to an expectation that doesn't exist. So I want to learn to love me, not try to seek the approval of others, which is a huge challenge for me. And of course, I don't want anything to happen to anyone else, especially those most relative to me. Another one of my fears, cancel, that I don't like to think about. Jennifer, if you can go ahead and request joining. For some reason, Jakey won't let me do it. Can you help me out? I will try again. There we go. All right. Next question. Even with accountability, do you believe in the phrase, I can only control what I can control and learn from the rest? Yeah, of course. You can only control what you control. Yeah. And knowing that you can control your mindset, your heart set, you can control what you think, say, do, and believe, and even the unconscious competencies of your characteristics, your obsessions, your addictions, all of those things you can control. And the more you can control them, the more you are confident and clear on what you want. So keep this coming. Thank you so much. Let's see here. What are some practices that will help one forgive themselves? That's funny. I just had this exact question in a coaching call, which I find really interesting. So in order to forgive yourself, you have to, acquire the knowledge that you're in the learning curve. Knowing that you're living life in the learning curve, that you're expanding, growing, and accelerating, you're going to make mistakes. That's why they call it the learning curve. If you knew it already, it'd be the comfort zone. Since you don't know it, it's going to take you time to learn it. And when you learn it, you're going to have to forgive yourself for the things that you don't know. Forgive yourself for all the mistakes that you made. Forgive yourself for the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum that's ineffective and faulty based on your senses and your memory. You need to forgive yourself. All right, let me try to do this again. There she is. Thank you for your patience, everyone. But Jennifer's well worth waiting for. You'll see. And ATN Empire is something that a lot of people are interested in and learning from of what we're doing. Of course, waiting for you to join. Come on. Internet, Instagram. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's all put our attention and intention in allowing this to go through as we wait for ATN Empire. Jennifer DeRay, welcome to IG Live. Please come through. Please, please, please. What are your thoughts on the foreign exchange market? Always with any type of market, my thoughts are timing and risk tolerance. So those are literally the only two things that I think about: timing and risk tolerance, and being able to effectuate those two things in any investment, any market, knowing how it aligned with my values and my timing and my risk tolerance. Absolutely will not allow her to join. Great. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. We want you in here so bad. Let me try one more time. I don't know. We had such ease with Mr. Nicky. There we go.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. That took a
No.
lot, but I'm here. Thank you for
This
having
is
me.
why you're successful, because successful people are persistent. They don't quit.
Oh my gosh. I kept texting people like, how the heck do you do this? But hi. Very nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Great to meet you. I remember during the beginning of this great pandemic that we're in, I was outside trying to do a live at my pool, and I forget, maybe it was Ryan Serhan or somebody, and I must have tried 6, 7, 8 times to go live, and I eventually got in, and he was so impressed that I didn't give up, and I'm so impressed that you didn't give up.
No problem. I have to say, this is my first Instagram interview. So I was just struggling a little bit with the whole, I was on my laptop at first. I'm like, wait, something's going on. But thank you
Oh,
so much. I'm excited to talk
all
to
your
you.
clients are going to think you're super cool now.
Finally. I'm just
Finally.
kidding.
That's what I say. My teenage girls think I'm cool. Finally.
I know, finally. Well, good.
I was walking the boardwalk on I love being Instagram famous, right? Walking the boardwalk and someone came up to me, "Oh my God, Dave Meltzer, I love your videos." And my 10-year-old son's like, "You paid him to say that."
I know. I have to say, when this was first brought to me, I went, and I checked you out and stuff. And a couple of my clients that I've had for a really long time followed you. And immediately, I mean, not that it was really in question, but I was like, oh my gosh, let's
That's
go. Let's
that's
do
cool.
this.
That
So
makes my
cool.
day. That's so nice. Well, I
Yeah.
want to bring on, I think the reason that popularity has grown is because, not because of me, but because of the access that people like you have given me to great ideas in areas, careers, industry, and philosophies that people need to know in order to be happy. And,
Yeah.
as a
Well,
woman in the career you had, you're killing it.
oh, cool. Well, thank you so much. I mean, I know it has a lot to do with you as the human being, so you're going to have to just take that too. But
Thank you.
thank you.
But you see things like I have in my life. There's a bigger picture. And although we live in a pragmatic world and we're in highly competitive fields and
Yeah.
negotiations and scarcity are surrounding us, just like everyone else, the gift that I've been given is the perspective of a bigger picture of not being able to take myself so seriously. And as I did research on you and had the same type of feedback as you got to have her on, you're a big picture and a big heart person. Where did
Oh.
that come from, and how much difficulty has it been through your career to implement that?
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, part of it comes from how I started in this whole, in the entertainment industry. I mean, I started as a singer and in a touring band. And, so right away I had artist perspective. So I knew where, I don't know, it's interesting. Like I knew where a song came from and I knew the point of the song. And sorry, one second, just
That's all right.
mute that. So I think that a lot of what I've been able to bring to what I do now is that true understanding of the artist's perspective. Like I've had people in my life like, oh, actors, they're just so, and immediately I'm like, okay, well, you're not getting the big picture, because actors are not so anything. They're so amazing and so talented and tasked with telling stories that will change lives. So it's a really big deal, this whole world that I'm a part of, and so grateful for the actors that I get to work with and the content creators. And we're just now kind of getting into, as a company, um, making things ourselves, like producing projects that are going to change some stuff out there, which is just amazing. But I do think that there's a certain level of empathy and compassion and more understanding, potentially coming from a background of being an artist myself and having a really, a solid firsthand understanding of that side of things.
Do you think that because even when you were an artist, that you had a different vision of helping others, impacting others through your art, not necessarily self-interested fame or money, that helped you to represent other people with similar objectives in their art, because I find there is several different schools of thoughts and methodologies, whether you're an athlete, celebrity, entertainer, in the representation side of things, which, for example, when we at Lee Steinberg represented someone, we made sure that they gave a certain portion of every penny that they made to a purpose or a cause that they identified that was important to them. That was a qualifier for us, that they were aligned with our beliefs. And I, like you, got into the business because I was a customer. You know, I
Right.
was the sponsor, the guy hiring people to do appearances for major
Right.
corporations. And I had a different perspective when I met Lee Steinberg than, hey, I really want to hang out with Lee Steinberg or Troy Aikman or Warren Moon or Sabathia.
Right.
Do you think, though, that as an artist, you had a different perspective of why you were an artist, even, that carried over to representing artists?
Without question. I mean, I went from being an artist myself to managing music and working with record producers. And I really had an epiphany moment that was, okay, so my job right now is to help more people care about what this band stands for or what their words mean and what kind of effects they can create on the world. And I got to a couple points where I'm like, I don't want more people to hear what this specific, I mean, in many different ways. And it really changed my whole perspective, and it allowed me to really hone in on the types of people that I and for, and that side of things is extremely important, because everything I do, I'm helping people get further along. And I use this analogy all the time, but Bono is an amazing dude. And he's an amazing performer, an amazing singer, but people listen to him on politics. And it's just an interesting thing. And it's not to say that he shouldn't be listened to on politics, but it's just a fact of life that the more people that are endeared to you and understanding where you come from, they're going to pay more attention. And that becomes a responsibility for all of us. So anyone that I'm working my butt off to help get to, bigger and better places, I at least need to, for my own responsibility and for the world, really, my qualifiers are kind of like, well, it's either a neutral perspective, which is totally cool. I don't have a demand that everyone has to be picketing and out there changing the world, but it's neutral or above is kind of where I'm at on all of this. So yeah, definitely. All of that has.
Well, the form of art too, music to me is very special. Just like in sales, to me, a telephone call is special because I think there's a frequency or a vibration to your voice, which can be utilized in a sales construct, a telephone call, which is underutilized today. And I was driving with my wife yesterday back from our beach house, and a song came on from the 70s that was, I called a download. She was cheering up while we were driving. I said, "Oh, what's the matter?" I thought maybe, I said something stupid like I normally do. And I hurt her feelings. And she's like, "No, this song reminds me of my mom." And I felt she was with me. And her mom
Wow.
had passed when she was 25 years old.
Wow.
I believe why the telephone's so important, why music is so important, that frequencies carry a lot more than just sound, that they carry
Absolutely.
information that can change the world. And the greatest artists are these extraordinary human beings. Sometimes their embodiments can't handle, transferring, I would say, from a higher vibration to the pragmatic world. So they have to
Right.
use alternative things like drugs and alcohol and pills or whatever they use to
Right.
try to conform, just like somebody that may be on the spectrum at a higher frequency and their brain works so fast they can tell you exactly the derivatives of 75 times 4 times 3. I
Right.
believe that connection, one of the ways that we do that is through music, and people that are musicians like yourself or been involved in all aspects of it really understand frequency. So I was hoping, as a last point, that you could help us understand, because you have such a unique perspective of all sides of this, what that frequency really is and why people literally teletransport themselves virtually when they hear a song or a piece of art, that it actually, I believe, takes you to somewhere else.
Well, I mean, obviously, this is just a personal perspective, but I feel very strongly that anytime we're out there experiencing anything, we're constantly kind of, taking snapshots audio, visual, everything as we're going through. And it's really connected to the emotions that we're feeling right at that time. And it's the same thing with any kind of art. It's like, you know, you're in an art gallery, you're looking at a painting, it inspires thought, and that holds that for you. And especially with songs, I mean, my gosh, like you can, you know, and the music is also, it's not just the lyrics, because a lot of times people don't even know what the lyrics are, but it's constantly feeding and, you know, changing your experience and the feeling that you have in your, I mean, my experience, like I mostly, it's funny because even coming from being a musician, I have more movie and TV experiences for myself like that. I mean, I'm at the age where Flashdance was super awesome. And I remember leaving the theater and just going, okay, well, cool. I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to dance for the rest of my life. And I'm going to start right now. And that's it, you know? But it's interesting because that actually, you know, that didn't end up being my calling, but I know that that moment for me meant something. And when I watch the movie again, or I think about, or I hear a song that was in the soundtrack, like just that wave of awesome, I can kind of do anything comes back. So I feel like, you know, residuals, we pick up residuals as we go through life with each of these emotional experiences, whether it's music or a film or a TV show or a piece of art or a symphony, or, you know, and it absolutely changes our life for the better. And it creates something that we can hold on to forever that's in an emotional vibration and wavelength, which is why I do all of this in the first place. Like, this is what it's all about to me, like creating art and having even a tiny part to do with making things better. So
That's awesome. I used to laugh at Lee Steinberg, who, when I ran Lee Steinberg Sports Agency, he would complain to me, "Oh my God, these young kids, they all romanticize what it's like to be a sports agent, and they all want to be a sports agent. They don't even know what it's really like." And I'm like,
right.
"Your fault, brother. They based the movie on you, and there's tons of
Right.
kids going out of that Jerry Maguire movie going, I know what I want to be now.
Right.
I can't be the athlete. I want to be Jerry Maguire." And you know
Right.
that to be true. And he cursed himself, which I
Absolutely.
loved. And that
Oh my
story is
gosh.
wonderful. What a
That's
feeling.
amazing.
Just on an entrepreneurial side, you know,
Yeah.
being an agent, a manager, even an artist, takes a lot of discipline. And it also, I believe, takes a lot of fortitude in the fact that you have to believe in yourself. And that, to me, is the number one thing, that you must be what you can be. And it's okay to change your mind and to angle to something different, like both of us do. I wanted to be a
Right.
professional athlete. You wanted to be a
Right.
great dancer. We just
Yeah.
angled to something better. Right?
Right.
That's what I love where I was at.
Absolutely.
I tried really hard, and I always said,
Yep.
try your best, learn lessons, and have fun. You won, and keep angling to something, and you'll end up somewhere better. We both had that experience. What advice would you
Absolutely.
give to that young entrepreneur, to that young dreamer that's stepping out of Netflix or Amazon or Paramount or Peacock, or I can go on and on because it's so new
Yeah.
to me, but they're
Right.
stepping off of their couch and they're like, I want to be this. What advice would you give them?
I'll tell you, one of the main things, and this has happened a lot in a lot of conversations I've had with my clients too. So much of this is about persistence and not allowing any of the possible negative to enter your head, period. I do not spend any time going over the statistics of all the people who wanted to be actors and compared to the ones who made it. That would be a ridiculous waste of time and a ridiculous pursuit. And if you listen to people that are telling you anything other than exactly what you want to do in your life, you know, I mean, I'll tell you, my parents were not like, hey, yeah, art, just go into art. That's going to, you know, because they also, I mean, they're both very creative people, but they came from more of a corporate background. So they're like, no, you need money and that helps with happiness and blah, you know, which I totally understood. But I also knew, no way, that's not what I'm doing. And I have to say, because there are amazing actors who are running corporate type companies right now. And to me, a lot of, I mean, the sole reason, no, but I'm just saying, like, there's conscious decisions to change your occupation without question. Like, I started as a musician. I was like, I'm better at helping other people do this than I'm that was my calling, to help others. So, it has so much to do with persistence and not allowing anything to shake the foundation of you just knowing what you're going to do and continuing to pursue that without allowing anything other. Like, I truly, running my own business and having my own management company is the toughest thing I've ever done by far in my life. And I feel like I've done some pretty crazy tough things in the past. So it's kind of like, but I have never once allowed the thought to enter my mind that ATN wasn't going to survive or it was going to fall apart somehow. Like, literally never, never. So I think that has a lot to do with it, and just persistence. You keep going. What's next? What's next? And staying happy.
Yeah, well,
Happiness is so important.
there's no doubt why everybody thought we needed to get together, for sure. There is an interesting thing I've learned through persistence of being successful, is that at first your persistence has to be over the nose, and then after you're successful, it actually transfers into the counterintuitive, which is you actually have persistence against the yeses, right? You can't take yes for an answer.
Right.
Because everyone, early on, everyone tells you no. And then later on, when you're successful, the bigger fear and tragedy is everybody tells you yes.
Right.
And equally, they need persistence in order to be fulfilled and purposeful, passionate, and even profitable. Jennifer, we have to do this again. You're an extraordinary woman.
I would love to. Thank you so
grateful.
Much.
Thank you for your lessons. I appreciate you, and come back on, okay?
I absolutely will. Really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me be your first.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a wonderful, wonderful entrepreneur in an arena that everyone wants to be in. Yes, Jake. Jennifer is awesome. And you can check her out right here at ANT Empire. And thank you for joining me. And Nick Walenda, thank you so much. What two great, amazing people. As we go, I'm going to take one quick question before we go. What subject do you think is the most important to consistently study? Gratitude. At ATN Empire. Thank you, Jake. Gratitude is, for me, the most, if you're consistently able to find the light, the love, and the lessons and everything, if you're consistently grateful, your life will expand, accelerate, and grow in the direction you want, to what you want. Everything will come to you rapidly and accurately. Thank you, Jennifer. ATN Empire, at ATN Empire. Check her out. There's a lot of lessons to learn and a lot of wonderful energy and frequency she was transmitting, and hopefully everyone was receiving that. I certainly did, and I'm certainly grateful. Anyway, join me Friday. We're going to teach you how to pitch. Perfect pitch. If you want to join the pitch competition, all you got to do, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I give free exercises, guides, and books. All my past trainings are available. They're free as well. It's featured on Spotify, featured on Entrepreneur. And if you want to join my community, you can text me, 949-298-2905. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, team. Most importantly, thank you, everyone, for joining me. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. See you tomorrow.